home from work, but can you please do something for me? Stop what you're doing for the next 5 or 10 minutes. And there's a very important reason I'm asking you to do that. We're going to share some time with Andrew on something that you probably didn't know about and you really need to be taking and you should consider if you are at all concerned about your heart, if you are at all concerned about the quality or, you know, the flexibility of your arteries, if you are even the least bit concerned about your cardiovascular system, or maybe more importantly, if you're taking Andrew Lessman or, you know, if you're taking anybody's calcium, if you're taking calcium, you want it to go where it needs to go without creating calcium crystallets or calcium crystals. You want to police that and make sure your body is utilizing all the good that you're trying to do. So Andrew's going to give you more information in just a moment. And that's why I said, stop what you're doing. I want you to hear what he has to say. But this has been our runaway hit and favorite as a today's special. And wow, has it been popular. I'll just tell you, a good portion of what we have sold have been the 360. That is the one that is selling the most rapidly. So if that's the one you want, I'm really gonna recommend that you do it now. Here's where that pricing goes, and it is better than a buy one, get one free. Because remember, at that 360 count in terms of capsule count, that's what you will be paying. Actually, it's less than what you're gonna be spending for the 180 capsules after this today's special retires. Like these little golden orbs with a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. So I hope you stopped what you're doing, because I want you to listen and learn, even though there are a lot of bloggers and health and lifestyle influencers who now are starting to talk about vitamin K2 MK7, because not all vitamin K is created alike. It's special, it's different, it's one of a kind, it's the best pricing. And here's Andrew Lessman with more on why you need this important addition to your regimen.
Hi there, Andrew Lessman here with the fourth of our amazing Today Specials. All of these Today Specials focus on the vitamins or minerals that you'd find in a multivitamin, that you might boost in a multivitamin, or that you might choose to take separately. Vitamin K2 MK7. It's something I started talking about around a decade ago. And there wasn't much conversation about it at that time. We're starting to now hear about it a lot in the media. We're reading about it in magazines, health blogs. So it's something that's become more present in the perspective of what's important for health. And it's amazing how it's so difficult to talk about a nutrient, which I've been doing for the last 10 years. I feel like the lone voice in the wilderness when I talk about vitamin K2 MK7, and no one's heard of it, and no one really cares to hear about it. But now that it's starting to resonate out in the media, all of a sudden vitamin K2 MK7 is really getting the proper amount of attention. It's as important in terms of cardiovascular health as any nutrient you can identify. Because when it comes to cardiovascular health, the thing that really underscores our cardiovascular health is how healthy we keep our arteries. In particular, our coronary arteries. And vitamin K2 MK7, what it has been shown to do is increase the resiliency and really support the resiliency and the flexibility of our arteries. And again, the way it does it is in an indirect fashion, because it does so by providing another benefit. The other benefit that vitamin K2 MK7 provides is helping calcium to be retained in the bones, supporting the bones in building their bony structure, retaining the calcium that they need for their structural integrity and structural health. And while they retain that calcium doesn't end up where you don't want it, say calcifying, causing calcification in our artery walls. So what I often analogize vitamin K2 MK7 is to sort of like a traffic officer, like a traffic cop, that makes sure that cars go where they're supposed to go, that they don't go where they're not supposed to go. And when it comes to calcium, calcium should be retained in your bones. Your bones play a dual role. Not only do they need calcium for the structural integrity of those bones, but also That is the reservoir. That is the supply of calcium throughout the body, because all of the tissues in your body need a small amount of calcium, but only a small amount of calcium. We don't want too much calcium and run the risk of calcification, because when tissues calcify, especially tissues that we want to be resilient tissues, flexible tissues, tissues like arteries, tissues like our joints, calcification in those tissues can rob those tissues of their flexibility and elasticity, a very undesirable outcome, a very undesirable occurrence. So what vitamin K2 MK7 does, it really supports the body's attempts or efforts to keep calcium in the bones where those osteoblasts, those tissues in that's where the bone structures create, the cells that create our bony structure integrate calcium into that bony matrix. Those osteoblasts, we want them to be doing their work, and vitamin K2 MK7 supports that work. And also, it inhibits the work of osteoclasts that are going to be breaking down our bone. Also, it inhibits the deposition of calcium in our arteries, and that's where it's observed, or other tissues. And that's where vitamin K2 MK7 has been observed to deliver its benefits in terms of arterial flexibility. I have some charts here that we could look at that quote some of the science. But if we look here from the Journal of Nutritional Science and Vitaminology, the association between vitamin K status and cardiovascular disease, especially vascular calcification, has been also reported. Cross-sectional and cohort studies show that high vitamin K status is associated with reduced coronary artery calcification, cardiovascular disease, and mortality risk. Journal of Nutritional Science and Vitaminology, again, epidemiologic and basic studies indicate that vitamin K possesses a benefit in the prevention of the progression of coronary artery disease or coronary artery calcification. Disease markers. Observational studies revealed a lower prevalence of arterial calcification and cardiovascular mortality in subjects with a high intake of menaquinones, vitamin K2, and no effect from phylloquinone, which is vitamin K1. Vitamin K1 is all about blood clotting. Vitamin K2 is all about making sure calcium stays in your bones where it's supposed to stay and avoids depositing itself into other tissues. From disease markers, long-term supplementation with 180 micrograms of menaquinone daily, vitamin K2, for 3 years decreased arterial stiffness in healthy postmenopausal women, especially in women with a high arterial stiffness. Progression of aortic stiffness was related to the severity of vitamin K deficiency, concluding vitamin K, especially K2, enables de-stiffening by impairing and reversing calcification of arteries, suppressing the inflammatory reaction in the vascular wall, and improving lipid profile. Thus, higher and more stable plasma concentrations were reached with vitamin MK7, and MK7 was more effective. That's what we deliver, of course, effective in carboxylating, activating osteocalcin, promoting bone growth. And it continues talking about the important role of vitamin K2 MK7 in bone health. So in terms of bone health, just as we talked about in terms of arterial health, it's a vitamin that for 10 years ago, I said it's the most underconsidered, the most, unfortunately, underreported vitamin in terms of its benefits. That's changed a great deal, but it still doesn't deserve the attention it should get. And this is the best price of the year for our vitamin K2 MK7, essentially a buy one, get one free. So enjoy the benefits of vitamin K2 MK7. You will be happy you did. Enjoy.
Boy, you will be happy you did. And I know you also feel grateful that you got that information from Andrew. But let me share a couple of testimonials with you, because we have hundreds of you in the various forms of ordering. Because I take so much calcium, my doctor recommended I take vitamin K2 to make sure the calcium was used by my body to strengthen my bones and not doing other things. So I immediately bought these because there were no additives to ruin my health. When you purchase Andrew Lessman supplements, you don't have to worry about the quality or composition. They are clean and manufactured environmentally friendly. Thank you, Andrew Lessman. By the way, all made with the energy of the sun. Here's another one. Happy to begin a new course from a trusted source. By the way, Andrew is not only our #1 brand, he's been making vitamins in excess of 4 decades. And he does this only for us. You can only get this here. I sought the advice of my physicians before taking vitamin K2 MK7. My doctors did the research on the product and said, go ahead, begin the supplements, no conflict. I will no longer be sending calcium to my arteries. Thank you, Andrew Lessman, for the endless research, easily understood education, and quality products you bring to these. And honestly, when you can get a doctor, I took these to my doctor after he read the ingredients. He told me this is a good supplement. I mean, you can't get people to agree on a good restaurant. My doctor, other doctors, and you hear that all the time in the reviews, how doctors love Andrew's products. And this is the ultimate. This is my first time being introduced to Vitamin K2 MK7, and I'm truly blessed with this now being added to my daily routine. I'm thankful for you explaining the benefits derived for a healthy heart and bones. I have added this as a #1 priority to staying heart healthy. Thank you. Keep us posted on staying healthy. Blessings. That's from Maryland. Time for one more. Hey, as we do this, though, what I really want you to understand is I do not lightly say these are the world's finest vitamins. And this is one that I'm on my personal crusade and soapbox about, and I'm probably sharing too much information. If my mom's watching, I hope she doesn't take umbrance with this. But in our family, arterial health, and specifically the calcification that happens in the arteries, is something that really hit home near and dear to me. My mom recently had a surgical procedure and, you know, some issues and some concerns, and life is what it is. But I feel like if you can put your best health or your best foot forward, then do it. And of course, we always say this is not a cure or treatment for anything medical, but please show it to your doctor. And you've already seen doctors support and love Andrew. And if you love yourself, if you love your heart, if you want to make sure that that calcium is going where it needs to go, then do this. And maybe even do it for a loved one if you're concerned about their arterial health or, you know, some of that calcification or just their cardiovascular system or their heart. Do it now. One more quick testimonial, and then I'll show you the pricing chart one more time. Sorry, I had to get on my little emotional soapbox. I didn't cry, though, so I'm pretty proud of myself. Andrew Lessman, Vitamin K2 MK7. I have the Calcium Magnesium Intensive Care. By the way, we'll give you a reminder of that in just a moment. This helps to absorb the former supplement and works very well. I now have low bone density and need to build up the calcium. I love all of the Andrew Lessman products that I've used. Just real quickly, still kicking at 65. I read this one yesterday, it's so cute. Haven't had a bone density scan since 2011, so I was apprehensive. And in March I did, and did the deed and was surprised by the results. I'm still in the low bone density range with no change in hips and very little change in the spine. I owe it all to Vitamin K2 MK7 and calcium and vitamin D. All today's specials. My doctor said to keep taking what I've been taking. Thank you, Andrew, for such high quality products. Here's that pricing again. I know the more you listen and the more you learn, the more you are compelled to take this. So remember, you choose it in the 30, the 60, the 180, and the 360. Big thing for me, and I know you probably heard this on the tape that Andrew was talking about, this is one of his most expensive ingredients to manufacture. So to see it at the lowest pricing in history is truly unprecedented. If you were going to choose it, I can't recommend. You really do need to choose it now, because 30, 60, 180, and 360, big savings on all of them, but $60 savings if you do that 360. Once more, as we've been seeing, better than a buy one, get one free in terms of the capsule count, because $79 on the 180, $69 if you do that 360, and that's only under this time-sensitive pricing for our today's special. All right, and last and certainly not least is our monthly special, or one of our monthly specials. And actually, guys, I need an empty glass if we have one. So I was gonna pull like a